Everyone, Celis, and this is the patch 13.20 notes rundown. And don't forget, if you're watching this on the FlyQuest YouTube channel, to like and subscribe, leave a comment also criticizing the current balance changes and your detest for them, because nothing is moving, okay? And honestly, that has just been the trend. It was a absolutely insufferable summer for what, 6, 7, 8 patches in a row or something like that. Nothing is really going that different. And obviously, even at Worlds right now, we are seeing teams that are just evidently stuck in the past. And then Asia Games was not a breath of fresh air because it was on 13-12. So we're going to jump right into it. Nerfs are on, obviously, like, outside of Bel'Veth and I guess Kaisa, everything here is a little bit random, and then the buffs don't really matter because, again, we don't actually see them until next year. So in this patch is the Jax visual update. He definitely does look a lot scarier, at least now, with this. And he still doesn't have a real weapon, but he does have a real, he still doesn't have a real weapon, but he does have a real weapon. Make sure to give him a try and be okay, cool. Champions. Q bonus movement speed decreased, E base damage is decreased. Avenger ring. Bonus movement speed is going to go from 40% to 20 to 40%. So this does not matter. I mean, it's his first max ability, right? Is the Avenger ring, I believe. So with that being said, the most important thing that you really do have to look at is, like, 3 points in it, in which case he is missing 10% MS, so he is missing magical boots, which is something for, like, his lane bullying, but obviously, like, in mid lane, I don't think this is going to be as impactful as it would be, like, for top Akshan. The heroic swing, damage per shot, 30 to 90 plus 17.5% bonus AD, 1 plus 0.3 per 100% bonus attack speed, to 25 to 85 plus 25 to, okay, so it's only going down by literally just 5, which is okay. Damage per shot. Now, I mean, this is okay. I mean, it's a nerf. Is it going to do anything for Akshan? No, because in laning phase, realistically, you're going to get like something like 10 HP from this, and Akshan is still going to be fine. Okay, Bel'Veth. Passive bonus attack speed after spellcast is decreased. E can now critically strike. Damage reduction is decreased. Minimum damage is adjusted. On-hit damage increased. Our Remora health is adjusted. Passive, Death and Lavender. Bonus attack speed after spellcast, 25 to 50%. Scales literally based on level to 20 to 40%. Scales using stat progression multiplier. Okay. So it is a nerf, okay. E-Royal Maelstrom, new. Critical stabs. Damage from Bel'Veth's E can now critically strike, so this is obviously really big for Kraken Slayer and any of her builds that involve crit. Damage reduction is going to go from 70% to 42 to 70%. She is going to be significantly less tanky pretty much at all stages of the game. This is actually really big for, like, top lane Bel'Veth, which is obviously less common, but, it still has to be stated that this is just a nerf. Now, her E is, interestingly, an ability that, depending on if she's support or jungle, gets actually its points put into it at different points. So she actually won't get these points back until considerably later in the game, depending on if she's jungle or support, and so that's pretty interesting. Minimum physical damage is going to go from 8 to 16 plus 6% AD to 6 to 10 plus 8% AD. So if you end up building a lot more AD on her, then you will end up being a slightly, very, very ever so slightly rewarded, but obviously that's not going to end up being her build. However, with the critical strike, then everything is there. Minimum on-hit damage, however, is going up. Our Endless Banquet. Remora health, 40 to 60% of minions maximum health to 20 to 70% of minions maximum health. Okay, true form auto combat movement speed 25 to 75 to 10 to 80. That is a nerf. That is a very, very, very big nerf, because obviously level 16 Bel'Veth, it does not matter if she gets an additional 5 MS. So Bel'Veth is just being hit. They're making her a little bit less tanky, and they're making her less suppressive with her all-ins and whatnot in the early stages. Okay. W, Galio, cooldown decreased. Shield restoration time is decreased. Cooldown going from 18 to 16 to 18 to 14, and this is obviously if you're putting points into the W. And I'm actually going to be totally honest in that I'm unfamiliar with Galio's skill order max. So I know there's variations where, like, obviously Q is the first max, and then after that, I'm not actually sure what ends up happening. I think that it's W. So in that case, you're getting access to his W, being up, one more time inside of a team fight slightly earlier. And then the shield out of combat duration 12, 11, and 8 now at levels 1, 6, and 11. So even when you're level 6 inside of laning phase, it doesn't really matter because you're only getting it 1 second sooner. It does not really matter. It's not practical. Jinx, health growth is increased, passive bonus attack speed now stacks. R cooldown is decreased, base damage is increased, AD scaling is increased. Health growth 100 to 105. So in laning phase, you're going to end up getting half an auto attack prior to the first recall. This is extremely negligible. Passive, get excited, stacks on attack. Now, the funny thing about this, however, is it undoes the 30 HP thingy that I think that Riot did to her a very long time ago, because you're essentially getting that HP back, even though it's not just up front from level 1. Passive, get excited. Stacks on stacks. 25% total attack speed get from get excited on takedowns now stacks. That's obviously nice, but I mean, it does just, help fulfill the scaling, hyper carry philosophy and fantasy of Jinx in the later stages. Our Super Mega Death Rocket cooldown is going to go from 75 to 55 to 70 to 50. Does not matter. Super luxurious. Minimum damage is 30 to 60 plus 15%, 25 to 35% target's missing health to 32 to 62.5 plus 16.5% bonus AD. So it's actually hitting a little bit harder now. And the target's missing health is going to stay the same. Maximum damage is now obviously going up. It's going up by a somewhat negligible amount, but the 15% bonus AD is obviously going to be very nice for her. So she's just getting a little bit more oomph inside of her all-ins, and now obviously when she gets excited with the bonus attack speed, she is going to be dishing out a lot more damage in fights. This is really good for Jinx. And obviously it's happening right after Worlds, so that's fine. Don't worry, Jinx will be getting buffs at some point in next year, because we do know that Arcane Season 2 is going to be coming out probably for Riot's 15th anniversary. K'Sante, all abilities are adjusted. Excellent. So base health 610 to 570, so he's actually losing, I mean, that is a lot of HP to just lose at level 1 for K'Sante in top lane. Health growth, however, is going to go up by 7, so he will end up getting this HP back, after the first recall. And then the armor growth is also going up, so he's actually getting buffed. So K'Sante's base stats are getting buffed. That is how you actually look at this. Now, it does alter some of his lanes, particularly the ones with like Jax, Rumble, and Renekton. They are going to have a bit of an easier time against him in the initial laning phase, and things will be a little bit scarier for the K'Sante in those lanes in particular. And so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make him a little bit more vulnerable. That way, maybe in draft, he has to slot in, R3, R4, R5, a little bit more common, rather than just being an R1, R2, or like a B2, B3, or B1 even in a lot of cases. Passive Dauntless Instinct. All-out bonus damage is 35% plus 20% per 100 bonus armor, 20% per 100 bonus magic resistance to just 35%. Okay, so that's just a lot. So he's losing a lot of extra damage. He is losing a lot of extra damage on his R. Okay, so now he is not going to be the Ornn, Warlock, Mage, Death Knight, Tank, Paladin, Rogue, Assassin, Gunslinger, whatever. Q and Tofo strikes, not so Flash. Recasting K'Sante's third Q will now disable Flash during its windup. Interesting. That was an animation cancel that used to exist. Stat check, recastings, yeah, okay. Shift tooltip will now show you progress on armor, MR, and HP for cooldown and cast time, okay? Physical damage 50 to 150, 40%, 30% armor, 30% magic resist to 30 to 150, so it has way less damage in the early stages, which makes trading against him a lot easier as well, and then everything else is just going to remain the same. But obviously, because this is his first skill max, he ends up getting that damage mostly back by rank 3 inside of laning phase, so this is going to be fine. W Pathmaker, mana cost is going to be 75 to 95 and 60 to 80. Is going to be the new changes. So he's going to be, K'Sante already doesn't have mana problems, and so mana buffs to him are almost negligible. Minimum channel time, 0.6 seconds. No, maximum channel time is unchanged at 1 second. Okay, so now you're able to recast it, obviously a lot sooner. Maximum damage, Pathmaker's damage, crowd control, and dashes, and all damage outputs will no longer be tied to the ability's charge time. Okay, so now you can just insta-cast it. Damage reduction, 25% plus 10% per 100, etc., 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 to 40 to 65% based on champion's level. Interesting. So they're making it so that he just gets all of the damage reduction practically up front without having to put a lot of resistances on him, and they're making it so that he can just activate it instantly. The stun duration is also just going to be given to him. It's no longer going to be 0.3, 0.5, 0.8, etc. It's just going to be 1.25 seconds, which is actually just kind of nuts. Damage 2 to 3 to 7 to 8% of the target's maximum health, to 20 to 100 plus 50% total AD, 30% bonus armor, 30% bonus magic resistance, etc. 6 to 10% of the target's maximum health. Okay, so they're making his W very important for him to hit, and this obviously makes it so that there's a lot more counterplay for him, and that you have more options when going up against SANTE. Okay. Minimum channel time, 0.5 seconds. No, maximum channel time is unchanged at 1 second. Pathmaker's damage, crowd control, dash distance, and all other outputs will now deal the maximum corresponding values and will no longer be tied to the ability's charge time. Damage reduction is... Okay, so damage reduction, 30 plus 12% per 100 bonus armor, 12% per 100 bonus magic resistance, 1.2% per 100 bonus health, 50 to 75% based on champion level. Okay, this is... so basically, okay, there's... TLDR is there is now a lot more counterplay to SANTE. That is what's going on. Casting All Out will now reset Q and Tofo Strike's current stacks. That is something weights off. SANTE now gains 25 to 45 bonus attack speed when all out. Okay, so now he's also auto-attacking, obviously, a lot more, but SANTE doesn't really build a whole lot of damage, but now there's probably going to be some, like, interesting, you know, potential things where he's just getting the damage reduction with his W and stuff, and he's not going to be as upfront tanky, but I do wonder if this opens up, like, other types of itemizations to be picked up on him, like... that we'll end up looking at. But yeah, okay, so SANTE, finally more counterplay. Kaisa, base armor is decreased. Keck. Milio, okay, burn damage dealt by allies now procs Milio's items. Interesting. E cooldown is decreased. Base shield strength increased. Our healing AP ratio is increased. Passive fired up. Burn damage now counts as Milio's damage even when applied through allies, allowing it to interact with select numbers of items like Chemtech Putrefier. Okay, cool. Burn damage will now still grant the ally who applied the debuff the kill, preventing Milio from accidentally kill stealing, confirming kills. Okay. Warm Hugs, the cooldown is going down by 1 second, which is nice. His shield strength is also going up by base, which is really good for, like, Moonstone, which I think is his competitive item. Obviously, Shirelli is very, very, very good and competitive. But yes, very, very good that he is just getting a fat, 20 base to his Warm Hugs because you cast it twice, so it's actually like a 40 base buff. And then our Breath of Life is going up by 20% AP. So one of the things that we do have to pay attention to is now with the passive and the items and stuff, it says it will interact with a select number of items like Chemtech Putrefier. I wonder if there is going to be possibilities for like the AP Milio with like Leandri's and other types of stuff. You guys know Drew Troot was playing it in Challenger E West. He actually played it a couple of games. He played Milio top lane after they gave Milio the absolutely insane Q AP ratio and whatnot with the wave clear, and then his passive and his E, and now he's just getting other base buffs and whatnot, and now they're giving him even more ability power buffs. So I do wonder about, those types of Milio variations. Morgana, WAP ratio is increased, damage to monsters increased, E cooldown is increased early, R movement speed increased, stun duration increased, magic damage is increased. W, Tormented Shadow, 12 to 52, 14% AP to 12 to 52, 17%. AP, so they're giving her a 3% AP ratio for a champion that does not actually build a whole lot of AP. Amazing. Monster damage modifier 155 to 165. This actually makes it so that she can clear a lot better, definitely. So I mean, she's not getting any base obviously on the mat, but her jungling is going to be better. E Black Shield cooldown is going to go up at rank 1, which is odd. So I mean, it's extremely odd because obviously you're going to be put points into Q, and then eventually you'll put points into E, and that is all that goes on there. So I mean, eventually you do get it back to the main thing. But if you're jungling and stuff, then your E is just actually going to be nerfed, just objectively, right, for the majority of the game. Our Soul Shackles, 5 to 30, 530, 55 per wall facing towards tether enemies, 1035, 60% in all directions, so she's just getting more MS in general, even if she's running away. This obviously helps her escape from ganks and do a lot of other types of things, particularly around like Dragon and Baron. Some duration 1.5 seconds at all ranks to 1.5 to 2 seconds, so they're also giving her more CC, and then the magic damage is also going to go up by 10%. Note that this still hits twice, once upon initial cast and a second time when the tether's stunned. She has 160% AP ratio, so she actually got a 20% AP buff here. So in general, they are just giving her massive jungle buffs, and that is the way that it should be looked at. Quinn, base health is decreased, base movement speed decreased, attack damage growth is increased, okay? So the health is going down massively. What? Movement speed also going down by 5, and then attack damage growth is going up by 0.3. What is going on? Okay. So they're giving her ever so slightly more damage, but they are making her considerably, like, more vulnerable to getting grabbed. And I think that that's a fine, balanced approach to champions like this. Zed W cooldown is increased. Living Shadow is just going to go up by a flat 3 seconds at max rank. Obviously very painful for the Zed players. They can cry me a river. Ziggs Q hitbox is increased. Bouncing Bomb is going up by 30. This obviously makes it a lot easier for Ziggs. I think that you guys saw APA's tweet. I'm also supposed to be doing content with APA later today after Worlds ends. Worlds starting in 20 minutes. And Blighted Jewel, 1250 to 1100. Do you guys remember the TikTok that we made talking about this item? Oh my lord. Finally, we got around to it. You guys remember the mage video that we ended up making, and then Perks actually made a response to it talking about it, and we talked about all the mage items, and we talked about, you know, mythics and like problems with mages and stuff. This is a massive, massive, massive buff. 150 gold for Blighted Jewel, when typically it's going to be a second or third recipe component as you're going into Void Staff second or third, depending on, you know, what the game state is, what the opponents are itemizing and whatnot. It is actually a big deal because this is essentially a cannon wave. And if it wasn't a cannon wave, then it's a non-cannon wave. And even when it's a non-cannon wave, even adding on like game timer and stuff, you're still going to be waiting in Fountain for a little bit. So this is just hasten things ever so slightly and allow you to pick things up a little bit sooner. Duskblade of Draktharr, ability haste going down by 5. Damage notification is going to go down by 2%. Does not matter. This is not a nerf to the item because it's not adjusting what is actually causing the item to be problematic. Passive Translator now applies before shields and lifesteal are calculated. Okay. All right. 0 to 25% increased physical and magic damage against targets with more maximum health at 25 to 0 to 22. Okay, so they're actually nerfing it, but now it applies before shields and okay. Okay, that's fine. Youmuu's Ghostblade. Spectral Shroud, Lethality, 3 to 12, level 7 to 18 to 7 to 18, level 7 to 18. Okay, Youmuu's is back. So yeah, Youmuu's is just back. It is just objectively back, as like an item. So expect to see Youmuu's and Umbral and this type of stuff actually end up coming back. And now we'll see other stuff that is going on. Smite. We're updating Smite to make it more user-friendly. 20 to 160 at levels 1 to 18 to 40 at all levels on champions and pets. I mean, why not just literally remove it as an option entirely? Well, I guess this allows you to still smite off, banshees and stuff like that, which is actually a pretty important thing, right? Because otherwise you could have made it so that certain junglers like Vi and Lee Sin and like these other types of champions, they just have no way to interact with Banshee's Veil or Edge of Night, and that would be a really big problem. Close only counts on horseshoes and hand grenades and epic smites. Smite now has 350 units of targeting forgiveness against epic monsters. This means if your cursor is near their model but not on top of another, valid target was What? Nah, man. Nah. Are you serious? What Rioter in bronze loses track of his cursor during, like, Baron and Dragon fights? He, like, watches his insight.gg back. He realizes that his mouse was at the top of the screen. This guy literally... What is this? What is this change? Oh, my God. Nah, that's not real. That is not real. You know that there's some Rioter that, like, literally just can't control his mouse in fights. You know that's what this change is. You know that's what it is. And look, if you're listening to this, if you're the Rioter that, because I know a lot of Rioters watch the patch rundowns and stuff like that. If you're the Rioter that made this change, I just think it's funny, okay? I'm not flaming you. You might think I'm flaming you. Kind of flaming you, but like it's funny. It's not like bad flame, you know, like you could just get better with your mouse, okay? Play aim booster. Like what what is this change? This is crazy. Okay. What is this? Damage type. Spell to proc. Okay. Smite will no longer trigger on spell effects like Demonic Embrace, similar to Ignite. Okay. Primal Smite and AoE when smiting monsters 50% of Smite's damage to 100% of Smite's damage. Okay, that's actually really big for clearing some camps. So that's obvious. Well, yeah, I mean, it is just nice. Jungle Companion upgrades. All Primal Smite jungles will take 30% less damage from active monsters when 2 or more out. Okay. Gustwalker movement speed. I bet most people don't even know about this. Wall and Brush gain 45% movement speed, decaying over 2 seconds after killing a large. Except wait. Huh? Oh, okay. It increases. Oh, okay. Wall and a brush gain 30% movement speed, decaying over 2 seconds after leaving the brush. Killing a large monster. Killing a large increases its effect. Okay. Most Stomper Shield 60 to 281 to 180 to 300, so they're buffing Green Smite. Tenacity and slow resistance is removed. I don't think that really matters. I mean, it is something to consider, but I don't think that's why you get the shield. You get the shield because you're going to be the tank, typically. Scorch Claw damage type, any damage, attacks, and spells. Note this means that Smite will no longer trigger Scorch Claw's slow and burn. Okay, interesting. Normal camp health. Okay, so here we go. Now we're looking at camp health values. So, okay, we're looking to slightly slow down clears after the first clear with level 1 and 2 to how identical they are. Today, the biggest adjustment here is the health. So this is a really big buff for junglers that have really high base damages and really like just have high like attack speed, or their damage is like very low cooldown. This is a massive nerf for junglers that have very big cooldowns while clearing their camps. So for junglers that depend on their abilities to clear the camp rather than just, you know, like the initial upfront burst of their ability, or, you know, just their inherent attack speed or something like that, those junglers are all getting nerfed. In fact, this was actually one of the reasons that Ornn became not viable anymore in the jungle. So last year around Worlds, Ornn was actually one of the best junglers in the game because he could actually clear extremely healthy, could always be on the map, he'd never had to recall, and he had massive scaling and he had amazing gank setup. However, with the jungle changes, the problem that Ornn faces that even with Bommies, all of the jungle camps are so difficult for him to clear, even with the jungle companion, that he actually just can't slot into the jungle. And now with changes like this is going to make it a menace. Now, Morgana obviously got her buff up above, and, you know, she does have the increase to monster damage and everything like that. Now, there are going to be a lot of junglers that do just get hurt by this. I mean, that is just the reality, right? So, a lot more HP on red and blue. Sir Gromp's health is also going up like quite massively. Crimson Raptor health is also going up pretty considerably. Raptor's health is not going up like super much. Okay, Greater Merkwolf health is going up actually quite a lot. Wow. Okay. Okay, well, it goes up at the very, okay. Merkwolf's health, 630 to, okay, the Merkwolves are even going up as well. So, okay, Ivern, fortunately, not affected by this, which is actually hilarious. So while all the other junglers' clears are going to objectively get slower, Ivern will stay the same exact speed. Ivern is going to be the only jungler in this game. I am surprised Ivern's passive wasn't nerfed in consideration to this change coming in. They should have added a couple of seconds to Ivern's passive, because Ivern's the only one that has no, his clear is the same speed. Every other jungler is now several seconds slower on every single camp except Ivern. Ivern is now just like, guys, I mean, Ivern was already kind of the GOAT, but Ivern is like so much better now. Okay. Monster health, scaling formula, okay. Rift Scuttler is an important objective, which means he needs to have an appropriate amount of health for its value. Health 15, level 1, linear, okay. Gold given 55 to 99, okay. Experience given 20 to 180, okay. Krug, experience adjustment, okay, this is fine. You get more experience now for killing Krugs. Monster attack damage and champion clear health. Yeah, I mean, they are absolutely going to limit the amount of junglers that are going to be viable and stuff. And I think this is totally fine. Sustain in the jungle and everything like that. Maybe this like deserves its own type of video. Jungle item bonus to non-magic monsters, 42% large monster armor and okay. Magic resistance. Oh my god. Junglers should not feel the following changes, but they should be something laners will feel. Mathematically, camps now have 20% more health for non-junglers. While junglers themselves won't notice a thing, unless of course they don't buy the jungle item. This means the laners will have to rely, wait, Jungle item bonus damage to non-epic monsters, 20% to 42%. Okay. Oh, so laners. Oh, laners can't just go and steal the... Ooh. Now, this is a buff to, like, lane fiddle, I'll be honest, okay? But, yeah, now laners can't just go and do the camps, which is going to be an interesting nerf. Lane minion experience adjustments for junglers. Minion experience penalty disable. 1.1 levels behind the game average. 1.5 levels behind the game average. Interesting. You have to be even further behind. Minion experience received 40 to 75% minute 0 to 14. Then 100% 30 to 100% at minute 0. Ew! Wow. Okay, they're nerf. Wow, they're really hitting jungle. Minion experience penalty is no longer locked at... Wow, okay. Starter item buffs. Doran's Blade is going to go from 8 to 10, and the health is going to go up from 80 to 100. So now this is going to be really interesting because now, in a sustain sense, it actually does beat out Call for just pure sustain, but it is still going to end up ultimately losing to Longsword and 3 Red Potion, and the same thing is still going to be true for the Mythic and whatnot. Doran's Ring is going up by 3 AP, which does not really matter when you consider Champion's AP ratios. Like, guys, you're actually getting 1 extra point of damage, okay, in your spellcast. Like, please get out. You're getting 1 extra point of damage after it goes through resists. All right. Health is going to be 72 to 90 or like 2 points of damage, whatever. 70 to 90. Okay. Doran shield 80 to 110. Yeah, that makes sense. Regeneration when damage 0 to 40 health over 8 seconds, 0 to 45 over 8 seconds. What is going on? Why did they just buff Doran shield? Dark Shield health is going up by 10. Dark Shield is not unique with other Doran's items, so feel free to pick up. Huh? I don't understand. I don't understand what that means. Okay, Relic Shield. Ability power going up by 2 does not matter. Health going up by 20. Okay, all of these things do not matter. Waterwalking. Movement speed is going down by 15. Now even more reason to just take Gathering Storm. Adaptive is going to, however, go from 13 to 30. So when you are in River, you are going to be a little bit stronger. But the movement speed, you are going to be losing basically a little bit more than Magical Boots. Snowballing Adjustments. Dragon Slayer. Okay, 5%. Okay, so wait a minute. Drakes currently offer a sizable amount of stats that the winning team generally gets access to. While contesting Drakes is valuable to the game in both solo queue and pro play, there's room to reduce the amount of stats the Dragon Slayer stacks gives. Okay, oh my god. 7% slow resistance out of combat movement speed, 5% slow resistance and out of combat movement speed. Okay. Hex Tech, 7.5% ability haste to 5 and 5. Infernal Drake, 5%. Ah! The dragon's so useless! Infernal is dead! It's so dead. It is such a dead dragon. Oh my god. Mountain Drake, what do they do? No, 8% to 5. Ah, Riot. What are you guys doing? What? What? Wait, but they buffed the soul, so they made the actual Drakes weaker, but what is... Ah! 80 adaptive damage for explosion. Okay, so they made the soul stronger, but the actual Drakes suck. Oh my god, they're so useless. Now it doesn't even feel as bad. Oh, they made scaling better. They made scaling better. That's ultimately what just happened. They just made scaling, comps actually a lot stronger. They made scaling comps a lot stronger with all of these changes. That is ultimately what just happened. It became harder to break scalar champions. Now they made it so that like 3rd, 4th dragon fights are a lot easier to also take. The smite changes, I mean, this is insane. They made scaling so much better. Okay. Oh my god, rune adjustment. Death timer oh my god, they're ruining boss's solo queue guide. Level 1 death timer, 6 seconds, 6 seconds unchanged. Level 2 death timer is going down. Level 3 death timer down. Level 4 death timer down. Level 5 is down. Oh, everything is just down massively. Okay, so now you're back onto the map a lot faster, okay. All right. Baron Nashor health is going up by actually a considerable amount. So that is, I mean, well, it depends, right? I mean, 3,000, it's going to add like 2 or 3 seconds, right? To the Baron, depending on like what's going on. Now for solo taking Baron, that is actually going to be a little bit more than that. It might be like 7 or 8 seconds. So that's going to be interesting. Rift Herald local gold given 200 to 100. Oh, they're making scaling so much better. That's all they're doing. They're making it so that snowballing is that much harder and that it's less rewarding to snowball. That's all that they're doing. Oh my god, and they're making it harder to snowball because even if you kill the scaling champion, they rest faster. What is happening? Gold per plate, 175. Oh my god, Riot! I love it. They're making the game centered around scaling. Attack damage per stack 1.2 to 2.7. They're nerfing the damage so much. Lethal tempo, attack damage per stack 10 to 15 to... What are they doing? Damage 30 to 180 plus 40%, 20, 30 to 220. Okay. All right, this one's good. All right, this one's good. 10%. Wait, 10% bonus AD. Wait. 5% AP. Wait, now electrocutes an 80 only rune? What? Wait. Hold on. Let me try to process this. So you get a 40 flat damage in the later stage. Let's say you have 1,000, so you have 250 or something, right? No, yeah, they made it. Okay, so they made it a lot worse for mages. Okay, they made it a lot worse for mages. Dark Harvest, adaptive damage 20 to 60 based on level plus 5 per soul, 20 to 80. Okay, so its base is going up. 10% AD, 5% AP. So they nerf AP and AD on it, and they just up the base. So they nerf Dark Harvest too. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Arcane Comet, 30 to 100. Okay, they nerf the AP. What are they doing? Adaptive damage 10 to 40 based on level 15. What? Riot! Leap forward based on level 30% bonus AD, 20%, 10% bonus AD. What? Riot Games! Honey, what? Oh, ARAM adjustments. Yeah, okay. Rek'Sai, by the way, Rek'Sai deals an extra 5% damage now in ARAM. So if you roll Rek'Sai, just letting you know. Behavioral systems. Following up on the rank restrictions we introduced last patch, we're going to remove the ability for ARAM and rotating event game modes to count towards reducing the rank. Oh my god. Ping adjustments. Our goal is to continue to provide access to these tools while limiting their ability to be used in abusive ways. Due to their low usage rates, we've opted to replace the bait and hold pings. Okay, allied scoreboard pings are now sent to your pre-made party instead of being self-only. For 10 seconds after getting a champion takedown, all allied scoreboard pings directed at your champion are visible to the team. The bait ping has been replaced with the enemy vision ping. Okay, the vision... these are so terrible. Worlds Clash. Oh my god. Mythic shop rotation. Come on, man. Upcoming skins. What's 2023 Renekton? No, that looks actually... The Coven skins are the best skin line, by the way. And also, this is Obelisk the Tormentor from... from Yu-Gi-Oh! In case you guys didn't know, it's quite literally Obelisk. So if you guys didn't know what Obelisk is, then you can just search that up on Google. So anyways, yeah, this is the BBC, and it actually looks like a Warwick skin. I'm just saying, okay. And in case you guys did not know, Renekton, we are making the world's tier lists and stuff. This will be a video that's going to be out on my main channel with all the pro players and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, the Renekton skin is going to be the best one. The Coven skin line is probably the best skin line that Riot actually has, just because it does look so weird. But it's October, so where's the Harrowing skins? I guess they're going to come out in 2 weeks, right? So it's going to be October 25th. The Harrowing skins will end up coming out. Redeem Star Guardian, Rakan, and Xayah. This Neo Pax Jax thingy, I guess they're just making it available again or something like that. I mean, his feet look really disturbing. This actually looks like the bottom of like a beehive or something. I don't even know what exactly I'm looking at. Honestly, this whole skin just kind of looks like a beekeeper thing. He looks like demonically possessed or something. I don't really know what's going on here. That is it for the patch. Now, let's actually ponder what this patch is. It makes scaling a lot better. A lot of junglers have now been significantly hurt. Certain junglers that have obnoxiously, good clear speeds like Karthus and stuff are just going to be King of Forest. If we take a look at like a lot of the popular junglers right now inside, or like, strong junglers and competitive, And we ponder who's going to actually be hurt by these changes. Well, Ivern is not hurt by any of the jungle changes. Jarvan will be hurt, absolutely. Maokai is gone. He's not going to be able to clear. Maokai cannot clear anymore. It's over. He just is not going to be capable of clearing. Now, some of these other junglers are also going to take, quite a while to actually clear the camp. And, junglers that are going to take quite a while to clear the camp, they're going to be significantly hurt while doing this. Like, Sejuani is also going to end up also being hurt. Wukong is basically gone. With a change like this, right? Lee Sin is definitely nerfed with a change like this. Lilia is definitely a champion that actually does get hurt with a change like this. A champion like Trundle, a champion like Vi, these types of champions, they are going to be significantly hurt by changes like this. I actually wonder what it means for someone like Shaco, and these other types of junglers and whatnot. So, Rammus is going to be a champion that gets really hurt by these changes, I would imagine, just because, how everything's going. But a champion like Karthus is going to be, ever so fine. Fiddlesticks is probably also going to be fine. Udyr is going to be fine. I think that Talia is going to be fine because their cooldowns are so low. Poppy obviously has the percent health type stuff going on. Gwen actually might be quite hurt by this. I imagine Rel is also probably going to be hurt by this as well. Now, other champions that are kind of like niche and unique and whatnot, they're going to be hurt by this a lot, like Nautilus. Like these champions that just can't clear particularly quick are going to be hurt significantly. Youmuu, yes, he does have the percentage max health, stuff going on and whatnot, but his mana is definitely going to get hurt inside of the jungle. Bel'Veth, a champion that's like somewhat dependent on her Qs and her Es, so she's gated by cooldowns. With the increased, durability to the jungle camps and stuff, it's going to be a lot worse. Now, champions like Volibear, and Silas and Nidalee and all these other types of champions, they're also going to be significantly hurt by these types of changes. So that is the way to look at this patch, and obviously it will change a lot inside of the jungle. As far as the champions go that are actually on the nerfed and buff lift, doesn't really matter all that much except for Morgana and obviously Jinx, and then obviously the adjustments to COUNTERPLAY. But that is it for the patch rundown, and yes, that did take about 37 minutes. This was a large patch, but this was not the Omegalodon patch, so I don't know when the Omegalodon patch is actually coming.